I've been asked many times to put up a list of the best 2D platformers on the Vita, and so it's something I've been meaning to do for a while. I find the definition of a 2D platformer can be quite wide-ranging, and you'll see from the list that it includes roguelikes, Metroidvanias, puzzle platformers, and more traditional platformers. I really enjoy this genre. Maybe it's because of nostalgia that these were the games I played on my NES and my BBC Micro when I was young. But I also find 2D platformers are easy to pick up and play, and they hold up well over time. As always, these lists are subjective and just my opinion, but I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. What 2D games do you love on the Vita, and what titles did I miss? Number 10. Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain is a roguelike 2D action platformer. Travelling through this world full of a variety of monsters feels dangerous, and made even more so by the spectre of permanent death and losing all your progress. The atmosphere in the world was really well designed, and there was always a new challenge around the corner. I loved exploring the environments, and taking down the massive bosses was thrilling. Number 9. Spelunky. Spelunky is super challenging, but so easy to get lost in just having one more go. Trying to get a bit further each playthrough and discover all the mysteries hidden around the levels was so addictive. The controls took some getting used to, but once I had a good feel of how to play the game, I loved it. I was never able to finish it, but that didn't stop me from enjoying it immensely. Number 8. Super Meat Boy. This 2D platformer is infuriatingly hard. Learning the feel of controlling Super Meat Boy takes some getting used to, and it's easy to overjump and hit a chainsaw on the ceiling of a level. I would often get frustrated, but Super Meat Boy is just so addictive that I couldn't put it down, and there's a great feeling of satisfaction when you beat a tough level. This game is, in my opinion, perfect for a handheld. The levels are short and it's great for quick burst gaming. Number 7. Fez. I love pixel graphics, and Fez has some of the best for any game I've ever played. The mechanic of spinning the world in order to find secrets, and to find the next platform to jump onto was so clever. I wasn't able to solve all the puzzles, and I didn't even want to. I had a great time playing Fez that forcing myself to play longer may have spoiled the experience. Whether you like challenging puzzles or want a fun 2D platformer, Fez is both of these things. Number 6. Guacamelee. I've long been a fan of 2D Metroidvanias, and Guacamelee is a great game in the genre. You play the role of a Mexican luchador, fighting to save the woman he loves from an evil skeleton. I was a big fan of the cartoony graphics, and the gameplay was superb. The tight controls were designed to force you to change up your attacks for different enemies, which really kept me on my toes. Towards the end of the game, there are some really tricky platforming sections that require precision timing and really test your skills and patience. But I had a great sense of accomplishment from finally getting through it. It's not especially long, but I thought it was the perfect length to leave me wanting more. Number 5. Sound Shapes. The first time I played Sound Shapes, I didn't appreciate it. I rushed through it to get the platinum on the first weekend when it was released, and I didn't think much of the game itself. I replayed it when I was writing my first book about the Vita, and realised how truly special this game is. The soundtrack is brilliant, and I love how the platforming and collecting circles adds new beats and develops the music over a series of screens. The graphics too are just beautiful, and suit the music perfectly. The servers are closed down, so all the user-created levels are gone, but even without them, the base game is worth playing. I recommend to take it slow and appreciate the game. Number 4. Time Spinner. Another Metroidvania on my list. Time Spinner has you play as Luna, as she travels to different time periods to stop the evil empire responsible for her mother's death. It's been compared to Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is a massive compliment. I don't think it's quite as good overall as Symphony of the Night, but it is a brilliant game, and from a controls perspective, especially later in the game when you unlock all the upgrades, it's more fun to play and explore and dash around than Symphony of the Night. The pixel graphics were especially good, as was the soundtrack. Number 3. Rogue Legacy. Okay, confession. I couldn't beat Rogue Legacy, but it's one of my favourite games on the Vita, and a game I return to a few times a year. It's a brilliant 2D action platformer that felt great to play and was so addictive. The procedurally generated dungeons and random character abilities for each playthrough made each run feel different, so that I didn't get bored even after dozens of hours of playing. I also really enjoyed the pixel graphics and the upgrade system, where you earn gold to unlock new abilities or stat upgrades. It's super tough, but also super fun. Number 2. Shovel Knight. I loved Shovel Knight when I first played it, and with the extra content released over time, this game has just gotten better and better. And I'd argue, in terms of gameplay, the last 2 expansions in particular have been amazing examples of well-designed 2D platforming. The music, graphics and story are all excellent, and the Spectre Knight story content, which was released in 2017, really added to the game's story, while King Knight's story added humour to the mix. As a fan of 2D retro games like Mega Man 2 and Super Mario Bros. 3, Shovel Knight feels like the perfect evolution that incorporates modern game mechanics into a retro game design. Number 1. Steamworld Dig 2. Steamworld Dig 2 just feels so good to play. Whether you're jumping from platform to platform or using your jetpack to fly over lava, the controls and movement are great, which is why it's my favourite 2D game on the Vita. But it's not just the controls that are perfect. The story, art style and music complement each other so well to create one of the best games on the Vita. The world and different environments are a joy to explore. It's a game so enjoyable that I didn't want it to end, and fortunately there's lots of secrets and collectibles, so my playtime was considerably extended. If you're new to the series, you should pick up and play the earlier games first, but to me this is definitely the best game in the Steamworld series. I found this list quite tricky to put together, because there are so many awesome 2D platformers on the Vita. I know there are loads that could easily have made my list, so let me know what your favourite 2D platformer is on the Vita. Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.